Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I remain your favorite ICT IGCSE coach, Amanda Jerry. So today we'll be doing February March 2023 paper 3-1. We'll focus on the spreadsheet section. So let's dive right into it. As we've always done, we don't tackle the evidence document for now. I'll do a separate video where I show you how to use your evidence document. So I really want to focus on students who have mastered most of the tasks and just want to be able to solve the more difficult tasks. So here we'll be doing task 2. It says the Tawara Cricket Club records on a spreadsheet the number of runs scored by each player in each match that they played. Open and examine the file battling.csv in your spreadsheet software. So let's go look for our source file. Alright, that should be here. Okay, so open. So this is battling. Alright, so let's open battling. Okay, so this is a .csv file, comma separated value file. We always open in Excel. Alright. However, if you are going to use CSV files to do your work, every formula you enter will not save. So only save as Excel workbook. So the question says we should delete row 2. So this is row 2. Right click and delete if it works for you, or you come here and click on delete. Alright, to delete row 2. Then insert a new row at the top of the spreadsheet. So you can come here, click on the first row and insert a new row at the top of the spreadsheet, and then you match cells A1 to V1, place the text Tawara Cricket Club, okay, in this match cell. So we are merging A1 up to V1. Alright, so merge and center, paste text or type the text there. Okay, so paste or type the text there. Okay, this thing isn't working for me, so I'll just type it quickly to save some time. So we're typing Tawara. So just a second. Tawara Cricket Club. Okay, sorry about the little hiccup there. So we're typing Tawara Cricket Club. Okay, so that does it. So let's go back to our question. Alright, match cells A2 to V2. So this is A2 down to V2. So V2 to A2, something is wrong. Let's undo. Okay, so A2 to V2, merge, okay, and center. And the next question says we should place in the footer right aligned spreadsheet edited by, followed by a space, your name, center number, and candidate number in the footer right aligned. So you go to insert, okay, insert under the text group, click, you see the header and footer, then you go to footer right aligned, paste that there, space, your name, right, space, center number, and then space, candidate number. Alright, back to the question. Let's see where we are. It says we should save this spreadsheet as M23 cricket underscore center number underscore candidate number. So we'll save, go to file, we go to save as, click on our source file document, make this an Excel workbook. Alright, and this, then your center number 038 underscore your candidate number. Alright, and then you save. So you can click anywhere outside your header and footer, and then click on normal to return our sheet to normal view. Alright, so it says we should format the spreadsheet to look like this. So format row 1 to have 36 points sans serif white text on a dark gray background. So you click on this. So we want to have make this 36 points. Alright, 36 points. The background should be dark gray while the text is white. So let's convert the text to white and then our background to dark gray. Okay, and then we said we should use a sans serif font. So calibrate a sans serif font without extrusions. So format row 2 to have 18 points sans serif black, alright, text on a light gray background. So this time around, this is a light gray background and our text should be black, just like that. And then our font is 18 points. So let's make this 18 points. Alright, so that does that. So question number 3 says we should place in cell U4 a function to count the number of matches played by this player. Replicate this formula for each player. Okay, U4, this is U4. So we want to count the number of matches played by this player. So you enter equal to count. Now the tooltips always help you. This counts the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. So you know that the count function is good enough to solve the problem. So you're going to highlight from March 1 up to March 17. It counts 9. So you can always double check by visually counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this person participated in 9 matches. Okay, can click on this to highlight all the cells and double click in between any 2 columns, alright, so that all your cells can become visible, just like we have here. Alright, so next up is to replicate this formula for all the athletes. So we double click and does that. Alright, okay, so that's fine. Next up, we're doing question number 4, which says place in cells B3 and B33 and B34 functions to display the highest and lowest scores for this match. Replicate this for all other matches, B33 and B34. So this is B33. So for highest, we'll be using maximum function, open brackets, and we highlight all the players in match 1 and hit enter. We do the same for minimum this time around. So the minimum score for match 1. Okay, hit enter. So the minimum score is 0, so we have 0 here. Maximum score is 92. Alright, so this works. So we're going to replicate across board. So click, place your cursor down, it turns to this black cross, and you pull along till you get to T. If I'm not mistaken, sorry, you get to R, not T. So I need to do away with this and this. Okay, so let's replicate these two for our minimum up to this point. So this works fine. Next up, we will be doing question number 5, which says place a replicable formula in cell V4, all right, to calculate the average score for this player rounded to one decimal place. So this is the formula for our average here. So we locate V4, and in cell V4 we place our equal to sign, and then we'll do total runs scored. To get total runs scored, you need to use the sum function to add up all the scores for each match day from March 1 to March 17. Okay, so that's our total. So you want to close that bracket. Back to the question. We said divided by number of matches played minus not out. Okay, so question also says that we should round this to one decimal place. So number of matches played minus not out. So let's divide this by, let's put in brackets, number of matches minus runs out, okay, minus this, okay. So you close the brackets. Now for us to do the round function, so we need to come here and type round, okay, and at the end of that formula you do comma 1 and enter. So that will round it off to this. Okay, so then it says you should edit this formula to make sure that cell contents are not displayed if this player has played fewer than 5 matches. Nothing will be displayed if the player has played fewer than 5 matches. So definitely we'll be using the if function. So we are saying if the player, if the number of matches played, all right, is less than, if the number of matches played is less than 5, then it should give us a blank space, else it will do this calculation. Okay, so we want to close the if and hit enter. So that does it for us. So we can replicate this formula at this point. So click and drag down to this point. All right, so where this is less than 5, this is 0. Same thing here, this is 0. All right, so that's good. So the next task is to replicate. We've done that. Save the spreadsheet, print your spreadsheet for showing the formula. So we want the formula to show at this point. So you go to formulas, you go to show formulas, and you click to highlight all the cells, click to close up all the spaces. Okay, so if you're that done, you go to file, you go to print, you go to paper size A4. Let's see where to print. To show row and column headings are displayed. Orientation is landscape. Orientation is landscape. Click on page, go to sheet, go to row and column headings, click OK. Okay, so this is giving us 6 pages. So let's fit this in. Go to scaling, let's fit all columns on one page, and this gives us this. Okay, so and this is visible, everything is showing, so you can print this and call it printout 1. Let's call it printout 1. Okay, so back to the question. It says we should sort all the data for the players in descending order of their average score. All right, now if we're going to sort, let's go back to show values. So if we're going to be sorting this, now these cells here contain formulas. So because as a result of the formulas, the Excel will not see them as numbers. Okay, so like I said earlier, the empty cells have formulas, and so they will not be treated as numbers. So if you sort, you would have error. So what to do is to create like a helper column that will help us, and I'll tell you what to do. So what we're going to do is to enter a formula here, so that when this is blank, it will give 0. So we'll use this column eventually to do our sorting. So it's equal to, if this is equal to blank space, this way we want it to display 0, else it should display v4, the content of v4. So let's hit enter and replicate. Alright, so we have 0 instead of blank now. So let's see what we can do with this. So highlight everything. Alright, to that point, and then let's sort. Click on sort and filter, and then let's use the custom sort. Let's say that our table has data headers. My data has headers. Sort by, scroll to average 2. We're sorting from largest to smallest. You click OK. So it's sorted properly. So you can delete this helper column. Okay, so and you have your data intact. Okay, so that's how that is done. All right, save your spreadsheet to the file name m23 recat underscore. So let's save as, go to file, save as. Okay, click on this, and m23 recat underscore ng038 underscore 001. Alright, so save. Alright, print your spreadsheet showing the values. So this time around, print showing values. The row and column headings are not displayed. So you go to file, let's ensure everything is showing. Not everything is showing. Click and double click, so everything shows. So you go to file, go to print, go to page setup, go to sheet, remove row and column headings. Let's see if we have other things to do there. Page, the grid lines are not displayed. The page orientation is landscape. Alright, no grid lines. Okay, click OK. Page orientation is landscape. We already have that. Alright, then the contents of all cells are fully visible and can be easily read. So this is on one page and this looks visible. Alright, so you click on print and call this print out 2, and then save. Alright, okay, so with this we've come to the end of this work. So I would like to encourage you to like, share and subscribe to my channel, so that we'll be able to produce more interesting and more engaging tutorials like this.